the episode.
We totally just started the episode. We're like, what do we do? We're in the same room.
This is weird.
Hi,
girlfriend.
Hi, girlfriend.
Hi.
Okay, so this is going to be really awkward because we decided to get together to do this, but we're so used to looking at each other through our screen.
I know.
So here we go. We're gonna rock it.
We're embracing. It's a little bit awkward, but we love each other and have loved each other for so long. Already, I can feel myself relaxing.
Yes.
And I'm looking at us. Look at our little matching shirts.
We're girlfriends of a certain age. In midlife, we got a lot to say. So let's get loud. We won't fade away, 'cause we're girlfriends of a certain age.
Hey, girlfriend. Welcome to Girlfriends of a Certain Age, a podcast for women in midlife. I'm your host, Jessica Neighbor. I'm a voice coach for public speakers and vocalists at Impact Vocal Coaching.
And I'm your host, Fleshay Hesh. I'm a business coach and work-life balance expert for moms. We are recovering good girls, and we are living well in midlife.
Wait, Fleshay, what is a recovering good girl?
Well, Jessica, it's someone who used to care way too much about what everyone else thought about her. And now she does not give a bleep anymore.
Love it. Each week we discuss a hot topic or hot flash, including culture, relationships, and life to help you live out loud.
If you identify as a recovering good girl or as a girlfriend of any age and you want to join our conversations, join us at Instagram, YouTube, or girlfriendsofacertainage.com.
So tell our girlfriends of a certain age about these shirts. What was our inspo? Because it's a great story.
I mean, honestly, I wanted a shirt that said "Recovering Good Girl." Honestly,
there you go.
I did. And so when we made this podcast, I thought, oh, this is my opportunity. And then there was something about getting ready for season 2, which today we're wrapping up.
Yes, we are.
And so there was something about, well, we need something new. I want something new and fresh for season 2. I don't want to wear it. So I hopped on Canva and I designed this, and then you loved it.
Love it so
and
much.
We get so much positive feedback. We decided to make merch available for everybody in season 2. So
yes.
The link for that is below.
Absolutely. Ladies, grab your merch. And remember that this was one of our most popular episodes, a two-parter, in fact, about, being a recovering good girl and really setting healthy boundaries and not giving a shit in middle age and really coming into your own. So that's what we're owning when we're wearing this.
Right. And you're supporting us on our pod.
Yes.
So there's something about that too, and us saying we're ready to be supported. Yeah. We're ready to grow, and we want to grow with our girlfriends. I mean, really, from the very beginning, one of our ideas was, how can we be a rising tide that lifts all boats?
That's it.
Right? We really wanted to shout out our sponsors. We really wanted to shout out our guests. We really wanted to give a platform to women who are supporting girlfriends of a certain age, whether it's through health coaching or relationships or divorce or money management, whatever it is, that we really wanted to build a place where everybody could be seen.
Yeah.
And especially around our businesses. And so that you and I have turned this into a little business.
Has been amazing.
It's really fun.
It's our passion project. But let's be real, it's work. We got into the weeds. We are producing this, y'all.
Ourselves.
So that's actually going to be one of our topics, a sneak preview for season 3. I can't believe I'm saying that, is how to make a podcast. Because one of the things that a lot of people say to me when I, share this podcast, oh, you have a podcast? How did you do it? So we're going to give you our playbook about what we've done to make this happen so that you can appreciate it as well. So teaser.
That reminds me, just the other day you said you learned a statistic that a lot of these youngins, millennials are really into podcasts, much more so than our age group. And it made me very curious because I remember reading an article, this was years and years ago, that 92% of the people on the planet feel that they have a book inside of them. And a podcast is a lot easier to launch than a book.
Oh, yes, it is.
And I thought, wait a minute, I think girlfriends of a certain age would want to have their own podcast too.
Absolutely.
Right? And you and I can demystify it.
Absolutely. I mean, think about all the rich experience we have by now. It just gets better. We have more great stories, and that's what it's about, is sharing these experiences and stories. So yeah, if we can reflect back to other girlfriends of a certain age that, hey, we want to hear your voice and amplify your voice as well. It's a win-win for everybody. So yeah.
And I will not bury the lead. We launched this podcast with $0.
Oh yeah.
It didn't cost us a penny to launch our podcast.
No.
Not to say we haven't spent money on it now. We definitely have, but we'll show you. We'll show you how we did it. It'll be really fun.
Yeah. So we want to do a little recap of season 2, but we also want to give a couple of shout outs. Why don't we give some shout outs first?
Oh my gosh. Well, my first shout out is to Tamara Mendelsohn. Tamara! We love you so much. And I want to just say, Tamara is our first sponsor of Girlfriends of a Certain Age. Mm-hmm. She came to us. She has commented, I think, on every episode.
Yes.
Had a contribution and has just become a girlfriend of ours.
Absolutely.
And so it was so fun to have her on as our first guest this season and to welcome her and to just honor her because she believed in us.
She did. And her episode where we featured her was fire, all about being divorce curious. She gave me so much interesting, food for thought to share with other girlfriends and just to really understand what that process was. And if you haven't checked out that episode in particular, it's incredible. And because she's our sponsor, if you listen to our pod, you'll see her ad and the wonderful opportunity that you all can, get to know Tamara a little bit better yourselves. So we can't say enough amazing things about her and her, her badassery, for lack of a better word.
And you can get instant access to her said badassery through a relationship roadmap where she walks you through understanding the differences of just like being angry in your relationship and needing to get a need met, or maybe you really are on the path to getting divorced. And we know, what was the term she taught us?
Grain divorce.
Boom. That we, girlfriends, as we age, we start tolerating less and less.
We sure do.
And I love that Tamara, who is divorced herself, happily divorced,
Absolutely.
I'd like to say.
Absolutely.
Enough time has gone by. She's really made peace with that and with her ex, and her kids are adults now. And she's just, it was so illuminating, right? I felt like it didn't feel like a shameful, scary thing.
No.
The way she was talking about it, especially if it's about our empowerment as women, coming into our own, not tolerating any more shit.
Yeah.
And declaring what and who we need in our lives.
Absolutely. I thought that episode was going to be really heavy and really intense. And it was surprisingly light and full of humor. Tamara's hilarious.
She's hilarious.
And she just had such a wonderful, holistic approach to it all. I, as a, child of divorce, thought that there'd be all this, triggering going on, but it really was a wonderful, illuminating episode. And we're just so thrilled that she could be our sponsor because we also really believe in what she's offering. It's perfect for girlfriends of a certain age. So it's really in alignment with our main purpose, which is exactly to lift us all up and amplify us. We're not going away. We're not graying and fading into gray.
We're getting loud.
We're letting it sparkle, baby.
What a nice way of putting it. I got my sparkle going today.
Yes, you do. You sure do have some sparkles. I love it.
Oh, well, our next shout out is to our second guest, Michelle Dwyer.
Michelle.
Wow, that was a really fun episode.
And I love the topic of riding the wave of menopause.
Yes.
Because we really rode the wave with her. I didn't know where that conversation was going to go. There's so many approaches. She just took us on this freaking incredible journey and really shared so much stuff about what we could be doing. I remember you were going to go to a doctor's visit and you were like, notes,
It's true. I felt so empowered. I don't know if you've done this yet, but you go and you just type in menopause and the stuff that you get back is not cute. Yeah. I mean, it's horrifying. It's very negative. And I remember you read some things off that you had found, like the top 5 or 6 searches.
Awful.
It was nightmarish. So for me, I think I've grown up with this idea that getting older and hitting menopause and drying up and fading away was like the wave crashes down on you. And then Michelle brought in this metaphor of no, you are a surfboard. You can ride the wave. You can get up. You can find a way to get on top of it.
Absolutely.
Make it fun. And then it felt like fluid.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. It was a balancing act, kind of like, okay, what do we need today? What do you need right now? And really getting over the good girl idea of what should I be doing, right? So as well as menopause, she talked about like health and diet and nutrition and really breaking those old school molds about what we should be doing and really going, what does my body need?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need? Not what the medical field is telling me or what some diet person is telling me. What does my body need right now? And it might be very different from the status quo. And I just loved what she shared. So yeah, her episode, Michelle Dwyer, Riding the Wave of Menopause from season 2 is fantastic. Thank you, Michelle. And also she in those show notes has a really awesome offer for girlfriends of a certain age where it's brilliant. So definitely check that out as well.
The third and final guest was Stacey Bowden. I have to like clutch my heart when I think about Stacey, that I share in the episode. So it was all about mothering in midlife, and you and I are both still very actively mothering.
Oh yes.
And many a girlfriend is like, girls, I'm already done with that. My kids are in college. That's cool.
Yeah.
But we're bringing up the rear, right?
Oh, and a lot of my girlfriends that are listening to this are right in that boat with
Absolutely.
us. There's a lot of us older moms.
Older moms. I identify as an older
Absolutely.
mom. But so Stacey is so important to me because Stacey was my doula. And I've known Stacey for over 20 years. And so she's just been a really big part of my life. And a big part of my journey is becoming a mature woman. And so to have her join our podcast and be excited and spread the word and be a part of that journey with us was just very touching. And Stacey is a badass. So you definitely want to check out. We'll have all of our guest information in the liner notes for sure.
Yeah. And I'll just say, because I was new to Stacey, she blew my mind. I am now studying her podcast. I'm studying her teachings. She has this really cool step-by-step process about kind of like letting go of like hang-ups and blocks through her energy work. And I had no idea how much it was going to resonate with me. And I'm going to get her book. So she's just this like wealth of knowledge around this really interesting way to kind of move through anything you feel that might be kind of like holding you back or blocking you or kind of like a tender spot. But doing it in this really like great sort of like badass, brave way. So yeah, Stacey like really blew me away.
I'm so excited to hear that.
I'm a new fan. I'm a new Stacey fan.
You're like fangirling.
I'm totally fangirling.
She's fangirling over you, Stacey. I love that because Stacey is that, and she's such a rock star. And so her book is Turning Dead Ends into Doorways. And we'll put a link actually for that down below because it's a very powerful process. I've read her book twice because it's a very powerful process for working through obstacles, difficulties, struggles, whether they're internal or external. She has such a beautiful way. We talk about riding the wave.
And relationships, big time relationships, like what's going on, what's the whole dynamic here. And the podcast breaks down the chapters in her book. And then she has guests on who are either her clients or other teachers, and they talk it through, which for me, I feel like that really helps me to process what she's teaching. So
the next thing that I noticed as I was reviewing our season is this idea of us finding our voice. Now, you are an international vocal coach, total badass. This was more than that. It was about our collective voice, right? We already had our girlfriend thing going. And how do we turn that into something that other people are interested to listen to watch? Because we're on YouTube and of course anywhere you can find podcasts. And it's been interesting to see us growing so much more on YouTube without us even trying. That was just fascinating to me.
We went viral. We had our first viral episode about Perry and Megan and our opinion about how we want to support Megan in what we feel like was a really, really hard chapter for her. And that thing went totally viral.
Right. For us, on our
For us, absolutely. But it was really
so
interesting.
Fun.
It was so fun.
I remember texting, like, oh my gosh, our numbers are just shooting way up.
Yeah.
And there's something about having this passion project.
Yes.
And a girlfriend thing, like our side hustle. This is just like a fun thing that we're doing. And to see it speaking to so many people and touching their hearts and making them have responses. We got our first troll on that video. I was like, oh.
I love it too because she is someone who I think has been like, dragged through the mud so much. So we are not about that. We are about like elevating. We're not about putting people down.
Yeah.
And so I think that was really fun too, because I don't know how many people who clicked onto that thought we were going to kind of trash talk. And we were like, oh, no. We're girlfriends of a certain age. We're doing this like proper. We're doing this with like class and grace, because there's such a toxic rumor mill out there. And we didn't want that for her or anyone else. So I'm kind of curious with everyone that clicked on to that episode, if that was what they were seeking. But the response was really overwhelmingly positive. So
it was overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's our shtick, honestly.
Yeah.
We want to lift all of us up.
Yeah.
Which also reminds me of the fact that the episodes that have done the best have positive titles.
Yes, they do.
And what topics. That tells me is that girlfriends of a certain age, while all that noise is out there, what we really want is something that's filling us up and that we're proud to, be a part of.
Right. I mean, which isn't to say that I'll go down the rabbit hole with some true crime podcasts and like we can do all that. But what we're here to do really is to like help with some positivity, help with some humanity, help with the things that we feel like aren't being amplified enough.
Right. That being this age is awesome.
Yes.
It's beautiful and powerful, maybe even more beautiful and more powerful than in our 20s.
I feel so much more badass than I did in my 20s. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wish I had my 20s knees back, but it's all good.
Details. I love that.
Let's look through some of our episodes together.
Let's do it.
New Year's resolutions.
That was fun.
Well, I love that you and I, as we've gotten more comfortable and found our voice, are really comfortable having different strong opinions.
Yes. And that's something I don't think I was aware of before we started doing the podcast.
Yeah.
But I think it's part of our secret sauce. It's part of what makes it really fun.
Yeah.
Is that we bring a different perspective to
it. And it's our brand, because a good girl would just acquiesce and just like not have their own personality. But the fact that like I was like, I'm all about New Year's resolutions, and you're like, not so much for me. Or like when I'm like, let's do the Oscar episode, and Shay's like, what? Oscars?
Is that happening again?
Exactly. Like, but that's the realness, and that's what's so great. And don't you all notice too that as we're getting to this age, there is just this feeling of like, I gotta be me. Like being other people hasn't worked out so far. So let's be ourselves. And it's so much more fun.
It's so
much more fun.
And then you can find the ease and the grace in your life when you can start doing that. And not be afraid of having someone bring their whack-a-mole hammer and try to knock you back into the hole.
Oh, no.
Because you popped your head up and you said something controversial.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Whatever. That means we're saying something right.
Right. When you start pissing people off, you're being yourself.
Yes, you are.
You're being yourself.
Because you can't please everyone all the time. You just can't.
And that's not fun and easy. We're not here to say, oh, that's fun and easy
to
ruffle feathers and not meet people's expectations, because it's not easy.
And we had to check in a little bit at the beginning. I remember after some of our episodes where we would have like real different points of view afterwards, I'd be like, are we good? Are we okay? I got to check in. That got a little heated, but we were good. We were good. So we've established trust, and then we can be ourselves. Woo!
Fully ourselves. And the people listening, they like the brand. They like the sound of our voice. They like what we're doing.
Yes.
And we're not trying to be here for everybody.
No, we are here for girlfriends of a certain age. And if you identify with that, then welcome.
Yeah, your heart is telling you, I'm in the right place.
We love you. We love you. All right, so we did New Year's resolutions. You may love them. You may hate them. We covered it all. And then this one was really fun. The next episode was, do you believe these middle-age myths? And Stacy and a few other people told me how fun they thought that episode was, because we really did debunk some of the ideas about us fading away, about us being out of touch, and we really
not liking sex anymore.
Oh, what?
Like, what?
Who's that woman? Who's that? Who's that? Come on, please. You know your body better than ever by this age.
So whether you're having sex by yourself or with someone else, that does not slow down. That myth, I mean, I think that was one of the myths. I was like, I guess that's just what happens.
Oh, I know.
When you get old,
Yeah.
the wheels come off and you know.
Yeah, you just fold that up and just put it on the shelf. Fold your vagina.
Bye, honey.
Bye, honey.
It was good times. Now she's just dust. That'll be the day.
Yeah, no.
That'll be the day.
No,
I'm
it's
not
not
having
No,
that.
no.
And maybe we should do a whole episode about what is the vajayjay self-care? Like what?
Oh God, yes. I'm writing that down right now for
sometimes
season
I'll
3.
see these ads for vaginal rejuvenation. I'm just like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm just very curious. So I'll just plant that seed for another time.
I just wrote it down for season 3 notes.
We had a good little chuckle about the self-cremating vaginas. Which is the kind of stuff you see when you look.
Oh my God.
Part of what launched this for me, we were talking about doing this, and there was something on, I think it was Instagram, and there was this ad that would pop up. Does your vagina feel as dry as the desert? And it showed this like sandy desert. And I was just like, what the hell? And I was like, this wasn't written by a woman. This ad campaign was not written by a woman. I know it's for women, but it's not written by a woman. There was something so crass and wrong about it. They went about it all wrong.
Oh yeah.
I stopped seeing that ad. I also probably clicked like, this is not appropriate for me.
No, good. I'm glad you stopped seeing that ad, but there's so many of those floating around in that idea that we dry out and we shrivel up. I know.
How are we supposed to be moving into a place of self-love and deep self-care and deep self-knowing? And I think the system is designed that way.
Oh, yeah.
Powerful women who know themselves are fully in control of their vaginas and
absolutely.
And all, the whole
all of
thing.
It, their whole bodies, body autonomy.
We're
scary. Our vaginas scare people.
Oh, yes.
They scare people.
But watching what's happening right now politically, it's like, we're here again.
We're really here again.
We're here again.
And it's so old, but here we are. Here we are fighting for our rights, fighting for our lives, fighting for our daughters' lives, our sisters' lives.
Right, because that's the thing right now, like you're through menopause. That's still on the horizon for me. So we're at this different stage of life, right? Where having access to abortions won't be impacting us personally. The women who are coming up, the generation coming up behind us.
Yeah.
And now you and I have talked about this too, this idea of what are the passion projects and the missions? What are we about personally and of course collectively?
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing where I'm bring it.
That's one that fires me up.
Bring it, because
Absolutely.
I do have energy for this. I do have energy to fight for the rights of all women.
Oh, it's disgusting. Some headline just came out today where they're chipping away at the different medications. So there's some that are okay to use and others that aren't. They're just slowly chipping away at
They're
our
acting
rights.
like doctors, like the Supreme Court is threatening to act like doctors and say what medications women can have access to.
Yeah.
And I'm just not having
Fuck you very much.
altering to that.
All right, lovely. So the next one was our hot viral episode, Harry and Meghan speaking truth to nonsense.
Oh my gosh.
We went royal.
So that was one of my favorite episodes this season. Maybe not my tip-top favorite because that's still coming.
Ooh.
But it was really fun to jump in on a topic that so much of the world is talking about.
Yes.
And then you and I, in our own little quirky way, we're doing our little pod and chit-chatting about it. But I felt very emboldened. I felt very powerful. And it did feel good to back up Meghan. It did feel good because that's just genuinely how I feel.
Yep.
And it also I think I shed a tear or two during the episode because it was very emotional for me watching a girl who looks like me marry into the royal family. And they can cancel her all they want, but she's still part of that family, y'all.
Yeah. She's got the children to prove it. And
they're now official prince and princess.
Oh, I love it. And she couldn't fit the part better. That's the irony of it all. She just had such a grace about her and still does. But yes, we absolutely have fun kind of tearing down parts of the monarchy that we find just very hypocritical. And that was one that I was less, tuned into as far as all things monarchy. We know that now, you'll listen, in a through line in a lot of our episodes is that Flachet is a queen. She was a princess as a youngin and now is a queen and identifies as a queen and a queendom. So she knows a lot about the monarchy but we had a lot of good times kind of poking some holes in that one
Mm-hmm.
and really like re-examining it and going, what's working and what's not now about that system.
Well, and the connection of cult. That there was a real connection of the cultiness.
Oh, yes.
And, a lot of families are like that. But I think it's really powerful because and using that family as an archetype.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. For
so
all of our
really
families.
got into that.
Yeah. We actually saw a lot of like through lines with our own families. It was interesting. What's up next, honey?
Menopause, how to ride the wave.
Ooh, we sure got to ride that wave with our wonderful guest, Michelle Dwyer, nutritionist and just holistic health coach. And she just rocked our world as far as
she really did
how to think about approaching menopause, how to approach this middle age and feel vital and feel vibrant, and really coming back to the core belief of what works for you and your body.
Yeah. And I just want to personally thank you, Michelle, for your refreshing perspective on women's health, because I remember telling you in the episode, I was going to see the doctor and I did go right after that episode and I had this fresh list. And I even mentioned you like, oh, well, I have this holistic, health professional who's saying this and this. And my person was like, cool. Yeah, let's try that. And I was like, I don't know. I just felt very strong, very powerful. And Michelle, the episode that you brought to us was exactly what I wanted this pod to be about.
Yes, it was.
I want it, fresh, unexpected, kind of surprising of like, oh.
And learn something new.
A little bit of a head scratcher. Like I never thought of it that way. And you really brought that for us. So I just want to call you out for that.
Yeah, you also inspired me to reach out to my gynecologist about a couple things that I was like, I need to check in with her about that. Having that conversation with Michelle, I was like, I need to check in about this hormone treatment and then ask her a question or two. And so it was just like a really good reminder about, showing up for ourselves and advocating for ourselves.
Right. And and the more of us who do that, the more of us who speak up, the more that old system of medicalizing women and treating us as a problem at a certain age dies out.
Yes.
Because we vote with our feet and we fire those doctors who give us crazy feedback or ideas. Like the doctor who told me just to get on an antidepressant, boom, when I was like, I didn't have symptom the first. I'm like, what are you talking about? This can't be how we do things. Oh, it's how we do things. And that's what I'm learning. But we have to empower ourselves and each other.
Yeah.
So if you haven't listened to that episode, please go back and listen to our menopause episode in season 2, because it's very powerful.
Yeah, that was an awesome one. That was such a great, great ride with her. Thank you for that ride. How to Feel Fabulous at Age 50 was the next episode, and that was featuring our queen, Flachet. It was so much fun.
So it was just fun. I think more so, every year, my birthday time, my birthday season, as you've learned, is a time of introspection. I am asking myself, where am I at the stage of my life? Is it where I want to be? Am I happy? Who's there with me? Who needs to get lost? I've always done that as an adult on some level. So doing that at 50 and wanting to plan a little bit for our episode and be here with you and speak intelligently about it, it was so good for me. And then to share it on a large platform.
Yeah.
To be able to share that with the girlfriends was really good for me. And so I hope it was thought-provoking for everybody. And then pretty soon we'll be doing part 2 for Miss Thang over here.
I was going to say that as your younger friend, it was very inspiring because you made it look so fun and glamorous. And so now, so now I'm all fired up thinking, well, what am I going to do for my birthday and how am I going to celebrate it and honor it? So yeah, you did. You brought the fun back into turning 50.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised. I think I shared in the episode that a lot of people, mostly men, were whispering, oh, you've got a big birthday coming up. And I was like, what are we whispering about? I am so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be 50 and still be myself and even more myself.
Absolutely.
I feel more myself now than I did when I was like 8. And I feel I have this belief that we are our really core true selves before we hit puberty. And so I think back on that time and I'm going back to old hobbies and I'm like bringing them back. The rainbows and the unicorns are back, y'all. Flachet is rocking it. So it was just really fun. It was just give myself full permission to enjoy all that. I loved it.
It was super funsies. It was such a fun episode.
And on Instagram, we did post a really cute photo. So you can see her sash and her tiara and all of its glory if you go over to Girlfriends of a Certain Age on Instagram. It's really delightful.
Next, we cover burnout.
We do.
So it was interesting to learn that some of these more negative topics are not as juicy to girlfriends of a certain age. But as a work-life balance coach myself, I wanted to bring some of my expertise. So it was interesting because I do know that we're dealing with that.
Oh, yeah.
That topic wasn't so hot and juicy over here, that's cool.
Well, we had some listeners. It just wasn't as listened to as most. And we like to look at analytics, right? We're both business coaches. We want to crunch some numbers. But I think, it had a lot of important things in it. And I've had my own struggles at different times with burnout. And so your perspective on approaching it with a lot of compassion for yourself and also some just really good actionable strategies, kind of balanced with your more therapeutic side of yourself, I found to be really, really helpful. So yeah, maybe people don't jump up and down to listen to burnout things, but obviously if anyone's opened up a paper or a magazine or turned on the TV lately, burnout is everywhere. And after the pandemic, it's completely shifted life. So it is a really great episode and, maybe not as fun as the Harry and Meghan one, but really important, a really important listen. So
thank you.
I thank you for that one.
Thank you. Well, and a big part of what we're doing here is also highlighting ourselves, right? And our expertise, just like we're doing for our guests. And so, which leads me to the next episode where we highlighted you, which is all about how to start loving your speaking voice.
Yeah.
And I just love that topic because it's this instrument. It's a tool that everybody has. We're using it all day. I learned from you that we're all public speakers.
We sure are. Whenever we're speaking in public, that's what makes a public speaker. And we may as well learn to get comfortable with the voice we have because it's like enjoying the body we have. And we know that when we have that friction with ourselves, it really prevents us from fully expressing ourselves. So I'm all about us using our vocal instrument, especially for girlfriends of a certain age, to really feel like you can step into your full vocal power. Am I speaking too much? Am I too loud? Am I coming across as a bee or whatever? So we really dug into that topic a lot because that's one of our most powerful tools at this age. And I think, frankly, as we get older, our voice, our stories, our point of view is going to be a huge part of our legacy. So really getting comfortable with that instrument and feeling, as fearless as you possibly can. So clearly I'm passionate about it. It was delightful to share that coaching with all of you. And I sincerely hope that it helps you feel just like a badass when you talk.
Yeah, it's so important. And you make it very accessible. So, another one of those episodes where we had it was strong contrast, right? So it was about Michelle Yeoh winning Best Actress award. And really what brought this about was you mentioning her speech to me. I did not even know about the Oscars had happened.
Yeah.
Never heard of the movie that she won for. Nothing.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I know who she is as an actress. I remember her from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, a couple of things like that. Crazy Rich Asians. But when you told me about her speech, it was, and I went and heard it, I got the good chills of I'm hearing truth.
Yes.
Ladies, never let anyone tell you you're past your prime.
No, it was so powerful. And to all the girls and boys who look like me.
And I cried in that one too.
Yeah.
That one got me.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a force and she's just getting stronger, and her sisterhood up there that was cheering her on. It was just such a gorgeous moment. And then, the episode's really fun too, because I'm a cinephile. So if you love movies, you're going to love this one, but it's also fun because Flachet shares her perspective about why she doesn't love movies and why the Oscars kind of suck and don't really represent everyone. So we got real. It got quite emotional at some points, but I think it was really, really important. And, we did try to love up Michelle to just show her that we absolutely agree. You are never past your prime. Clearly, you're in it, doing incredible things. You have a bunch of projects lined up, and you are just such an inspiration to us.
So that was a really fun episode.
It was. Well, and it also highlighted the desire. I would love for that not to be such a big deal, that a person in this box, in this category, in this whatever, won a thing. Right. They got a little piece of, like a little finger hold, you know, in the great game that is life. I'm really ready for that to not be such a thing. Right?
Because it doesn't reflect reality.
It doesn't.
Like, we're just like, can we stop playing this BS game where like this little tiny segment of our population gets like all the stuff? Like, we're so fed up with that.
Yeah.
So we're really trying to talk for everyone when we speak on that.
It's so true.
Yes. Well, I think we've got one more up our sleeve.
One more up our sleeve.
So this one is about how social media can either help or harm us. And we, again, had two very different perspectives. I'm a bit more on the social media bandwagon. Flashay is definitely pretty skeptical about it, and for very good reasons. So Flashay had a really good point of view about privacy issues and bot issues and some stuff that really, frankly, we should all really be seriously considering. But we also talk about the joy online, the growth online, the birthdays, grassroots organizations, Black Lives Matter, Me Too, and who knows what's going to pop up next. So it's just the new messy reality that we're all navigating, and how we, especially in midlife, want to know what's our place. And I thought it was really fun at the end when we talked about, like, can we be on TikTok? Can we be on the next new thing? And it's like, yeah, it's for everyone. So why are we relegating that to like the youngins? Like, no, we can do some stuff too. I mean, we don't have to try to replicate like the cool teenage meme. We can do it in our own grown ass way.
You don't have to have our boobs out while we're vacuuming and bending over.
No, I'm not twerking. I'm not twerking for anyone but who I want to.
How come whenever I log into TikTok, it's all I see? I'm like, who do they think I am? Like a 15-year-old boy? Why am I seeing this?
Yeah, that might just be the most popular demographic, perhaps.
It could be. Yeah. It could be.
So we need to change that algorithm.
We need to change the algorithm, and we only change it by doing it.
Yes, we do.
By being there, showing up, bringing our greatness. And TikTok's a really great place. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen politically. They might shut down the United States. Yeah. That's a topic up for debate right now in the United States as we record this. But, if you're trying to grow a business, apparently that's the number one place to be these days.
It's a really good place to be. So lots of interesting things.
And our last episode, we got on our soapboxes.
Oh, yes, we did.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going to change my answer. I think that was my favorite episode.
I really love that episode. That episode flowed, and it was all about like how not to be an asshole in modern society and just like basic manners and basic courtesy. And it was so much fun. I mean, we got real fired up.
Yeah, we did.
Over good things.
We're going to do more of those because that was healing for me. I had an active healing. It was corrective. It was great for me to be able to say what the bullshit was.
Yes.
Call it out. This was inspired by an episode of Glennon Doyle's
We Can Do
Hard Things, where she and the two other hosts went off on actually a blog post, which might actually be fun for us to go through at some point. But it turns out, as we were getting ready for it, we were going off.
And we had our own list. We didn't even need the 100 list thing from the
I'm not even sure we touched any of those.
No, I don't, hardly.
And I realized maybe we should just do one a season.
Well, and also that's where we want you girlfriends who are watching and enjoying this to get involved. So we want to invite you in to join our community. We're going to have a wonderful link for you to do that, because we want to know what gets you all riled up. What are the new things you want to ask people to do to not be a-holes or just to be good humans? So we're really calling that in for season 3. It's like, what do you want us to be sure to cover and go over? Because we're just two girlfriends here, just two people.
We only have so many ideas.
We only have a lot. It's a lot of ideas, but we want to incorporate yours in there. So I think season 3 does need to have another one of those about what we want from people, and we want to hear from you.
Yeah, it has to come from our own community. Could you give us a little hint of what's coming in season 3?
Absolutely.
I can't believe we're wrapping season 2.
I can't believe it either.
And stepping into season 3.
I know. Okay, so we have so many juicy ideas, y'all. So we actually want to have a live event, and we want you to come and be our girlfriends. And we want to do this, and we want to have some drinks and some appetizers, and we're going to record live and have a Q&A and a soiree and just love each other up. So more to come on our live event, how you can get tickets and how you can actually show up and be there for us, with us. So we are delighted for that. We also are going to be covering some topics that we think are really important. So the one we just wrote down from our talk right now, vagina self-care. How do we love our vagina and keep her like a,
purring, keep her purring the way she wants
exactly,
to.
or as
the way she aspires to.
Exactly, or as who is it? Cardi B talks about in Megan Thee Stallion, a WAP. We'll get into that later. You don't know about the WAP? Oh, honey.
Lord.
Okay, that's
I live
season
under
3.
A rock. Remember?
That's season 3.
Okay,
we'll describe what that means to you later. Other things we want to take on in season 3 that are near and dear to us are race. Talking about that, being an ally, hearing from a real deal person about what that means in this day and age. Caretaking for parents, being in the sandwich generation between taking care of your parents while still having children, or just how we do that as caretakers. We're going to have a topic on Indigenous women, and we're going to highlight the issue of murdered and missing Indigenous women that is happening in our country. And we are also going to open up ideas to you, because we have a couple of episodes that we want your input on. Tell us what we should be talking about. Tell us what Flachet and Jessica's vibe would be interesting for you to hear from us chatty ladies. So those are some of the things that we're going to be doing in season 3, and I cannot wait to just keep on rapping with you, girlfriend.
So exciting.
Yeah, it really is.
Just here's to more of that.
Here it is.
And to you for being our listeners, for showing up, listening to our episodes, the feedback that you've been giving us.
Yeah.
It means so much to me. For us to be seen and heard.
Yes.
I mean, that was the thing. Let's just get out there and do it. But now it's actually happening.
Yeah.
We're touching people's hearts. They're giving us that feedback. And I've gotten emotional before about the enormity of that.
It's huge. It's huge. And it really does mean a lot to us. Now that we're doing it, I realize that we're humans doing this. So when you let us know what you like, when you give us a little, post or a comment, that's what we're doing this for. So let us know what is resonating with you, and we'll make sure to amplify that part in future episodes. So we can't thank you enough for when you subscribe, when you rate on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. It really elevates our show so that more girlfriends of a certain age can listen. So we just can't thank you enough for that ongoing support from y'all. It's a small act, but it really does have huge repercussions for our little podcast on the planet.
I love that plug. I just need to say one thing, and that is I want to thank you, Jess, for our jingle.
Oh!
So the song you hear, we're girlfriends of a certain age at the beginning, that was written by this one.
Girlfriends of a certain age.
I will not join in.
So yeah.
Although I did at my party.
Yes, we did. We sang it together.
And my husband recorded it. That's funny. I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, we got to see that one.
We got to see that one. But that was done by you. And I just want to call you out for it because it really elevated, I think, the flow of our podcast. And that you wrote the music, like everything about it. That is this girl here. And so I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. It was so much fun. It just kind of flowed out. I had so much fun writing it. It was really one of those just like effortless kind of things you create, which if you create things, when you're like doing that and it's that easy, you're like, oh, I'm onto something good here.
I mean, that sounds like the state of flow.
It was really the state of flow. It was so much fun to make, and I loved it. Along the same lines, I want to thank you for creating these beautiful shirts and coming up with this whole design and this whole concept and this whole name, Recovering Good Girl, which I just love and resonates with so many people.
That surprised me.
Oh my gosh.
That surprised me that there were so many other people, and I think we're just scratching the surface.
Oh yes,
because when someone really understands what that is, and that's an episode from season 1, our probably one of our most listened to, was that when we broke it down, it was like, oh, hello.
That's me.
And then men have been telling us too.
Yes, they have. Because I think what you hear more often is a recovered perfectionist or a recovered people pleaser. But there's something about the good girl that that piece of us that felt like as a kid didn't have any agency, that I think is a really deep healing process when we recover from that, right? Then we start playing with unicorns and rainbows again, right?
We do.
No, right? So there's something really beautiful about this. And so I just love the shirt. I wear it with pride. It raises some eyebrows and it's a great conversation starter.
It's definitely a great conversation. You're staring at my rap. You're staring at my recovery. But I love the idea of recovering because like we think about a recovering alcoholic or someone who abuses drugs. It's like this idea that you're never done with the process. You're in recovery. That means temptation abounds.
Always.
I'm constantly tempted by the world to cater to so-and-so.
Am I pleasing them? Am I checking in with their needs? And I just am getting better and better, but it is a daily practice to go, they're fine. You do you, boo. Like, this is what I'm having to tell myself. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good. And the less we take care of other people and bring all that energy back into ourselves, the more energy you have for getting in the state of flow, writing your jingles, designing your shirts, making your podcast, whatever it is that you do in the world.
Yeah.
You have so much more energy for it when don't have all your little tentacles all up in everyone else's business.
No, it's too much. That's how we get spread thin. That's how we frankly burn out and we feel resentful. And I think that is a big piece of what girlfriends of a certain age can really struggle with, is that that's been our playbook. And that's what we've been sort of like, celebrated for. Oh, look, mom or the woman holding it all together.
She's got it all.
Oh, yeah. And she's just helping everyone. And everything would fall apart without her. No, I don't want to carry that load anymore. Thank you very much.
No.
Frankly, I admire a lot of men who are just like, I'm good. I'm cool over here. Taking care of me. I'm numero uno. So there's something really, really important for us to recognize, like, hey, are we extending ourselves too much? Are we spreading ourselves too thin?
And are we creating codependence with the people in our lives? Like, we don't like the dynamics of being in codependence. But where are we contributing to it? Where are we making that happen?
And where did for me, where did some of that identity almost get like, that was like what made me feel good for a long time?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's a certain kind of currency. I make you feel good.
Oh my God.
You need me.
Oh my God. Like there were a couple boyfriends, won't name names, in my early dating life.
At least not on the pod. I know their names.
And I'm like, oh, you're a fixer-upper? Oh my God, I can fix you. I can bring you back to life. Like,
the fixer-uppers.
So yes, recovering is a lifelong process. But yeah, just so much creativity. I want to thank you as well. It's just delightful to do this. And like you said, I feel really safe. I feel really seen and heard. I mean, we are both some serious talkers, man. And it's okay. Like, we're in a flow, even if that means we have to kind of cut each other off once in a while. But really, we're kind of just trying to do this with all y'all, with you really in mind as we're talking, that this is like a girlfriend circle here.
Yes.
So
girlfriend circle, I love it. That's a really nice way of
she's gonna make a hat.
I'm gonna make a hat. No, my next is a hoodie. Next is I want a hoodie.
Ooh, I want a hoodie too. So remember, you can get your own swag. You can hop on to all of those wonderful guests, offerings in all of the notes here, and check out season 2. And again, look forward to season 3. We love y'all.
We love y'all. Till next time, girlfriend.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in today to Girlfriends of a Certain Age podcast.
Do you have a girlfriend who needs to hear this message? Share this episode with her. She will love you forever.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and comment wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay tuned for more episodes where we discuss more hot topics about girlfriends living their best lives. You can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and girlfriendsofacertainage.com.